intro done. It's like I wrote it myself. Everyone, I am Amy McManus from Remarketing. Can you hear me all right? All at the back? As though you wouldn't be able to. Just to give you a little bit of heads up, my presentation style is like panto with information. But we're all going to learn a lot and hopefully laugh a little bit as well, because sometimes remarketing isn't the most interesting of things to talk about. So just to take you through what we're going to do today, we're going to look at what is remarketing, if there's anyone in this room that doesn't know what it's about. And then thought it'd be a really good idea to show you guys a case study. So although I can't talk about the client specifically because they're under NDA, we're going to look at client A and how remarketing actually helped them. So rather than just me saying, this is remarketing, this is what it does, we're actually going to look at some practical case study analysis. Then going to look at the marketing funnel and basically where someone comes back in if they've dropped through with the use of remarketing. And then although there are loads of different remarketing types and we could talk about it all night, as I'm sure you would love to, we're going to specifically look at YouTube and Google Display. Then targeting preferences, frequency capping, and then how client A was saved with the use of remarketing. So why on earth should you listen to me? I'm just some bird on a stage. We have got AM Marketing. I'm the managing director and founder of AM Marketing. We're a Google partner specialist, and we're a specialist in display, mobile, video, and also in website speed as well. I was a finalist for the Institute Directors Director of the Year. Our marketing agency, AM Marketing, is part of the Guild of Entrepreneurs. We're an Associate Fellow of the Royal Commonwealth Society. We won an Amazon Business Award. Basically a load of things. That's why you should listen. We know our stuff. We're actually a YouTube specialist as well, and we're one of the only YouTube accredited agencies in the whole of Kent. But Abby's going to tell you more about that later, so I won't go into that. We've worked with a load of big brands. I'm sure some of them you will know, but it's not just about the big companies. We work from anyone from the likes of Disney all the way down to sort of your local businesses or people that you just walk past every day in the street. Remarketing is not just for the big brands, it's for absolutely anyone, no matter what the budget. So what is remarketing? Who has actually heard of remarketing? Okay, cool. Who would say they have a great knowledge of what remarketing is? Oh, well, of course. Okay, cool. You can leave, Paul, if you want. No, it's fine. So essentially, what happens in remarketing, you have your lovely visitor. You think, I want to convert that person. I want them to either call me. I want them to buy my product. They visit your website. Fantastic. They have some intent that they are interested in your product. They are interested in your services. They're looking around, and for some reason, they leave. And it could be a whole variety of reasons, some of which we're going to go through today, but they leave your website. Do you think at that point that is it?
No.
Well, thank you, Mark. I said, do you think at that point it is it? No. Oh, thank you, everyone. Wonderful. It's not. You're right. With the use of remarketing, you take the person, you bring them back to your website, and hopefully they end up in a conversion, whatever that conversion may be. It could be filling in your contact form, it could be buying a product, it could be calling you, whatever that option is. The different forms of remarketing and the different ads you can place and the ways you can do remarketing. You've got Instagram, you've got oh, that didn't work, didn't it? Don't put that in. Basically, you've got your social platforms you can remarket on. You've got YouTube, you've got basically the entirety of Google marketing at your use, and also email as well. There's loads of other different options, but those are kind of the key ones that we use in digital marketing for remarketing. So it could be, for example, that someone's on your website, they leave, perhaps they put something in their basket and they thought, oh, I'll buy that another time. That's when you see those lovely, not annoying at all, Facebook ads with the product in that you've already seen and you left in your basket. Not annoying at all, right?
No.
Fantastic. Hopefully that is your incentive then to click on that ad on Facebook, go back to the website and buy that product. Cool, so client A. Client A was an online retail business. They came to us because they were getting loads of visits to their site. So loads of different visits, lots of different people, lots of different countries. Most of these were from social. As with retail businesses in this particular sector, a lot of them were coming from Instagram. But there's a lot of digital marketers in the room, and we all know that social visits don't necessarily have great conversion rates. You'll get a lot of people coming from Instagram or Facebook, they'll take a look around and then they'll go. So that was the issue that client A had. Their best conversion rates were with search marketing, with PPC, so people that were actually typing in things into Google and clicking on the ads that come up on Google page 1. Their sales had dropped. They also had a high rate of abandoned baskets, so people that were essentially deciding, yeah, I'm going to buy something, creating a basket, then just leaving for whatever reason and not putting their sale through. They didn't have a way of bringing customers back. They thought that they were all lost. And there was a lot of people falling through the sales funnel. Now, sales funnel is one of those terms that you might hear the word marketing funnel. It's a little bit of a BS marketing term that I don't really like using, but unfortunately in this scenario, it's really, really appropriate. So just gonna take you a little bit about what that looks like. So you get your initial time when you're marketing to your customer or marketing to your potential customer, and that's the awareness stage. So this is when someone perhaps doesn't know about your brand, doesn't know about your product, doesn't know about your company. First stage of marketing, first time they see you, that's the awareness stage. Interest, they may be coming to your website, they may be having a look around, they may be spending time on several pages. They'll make a decision, and then they'll take the action, whether they're going to call you, contact you, buy a product, whatever, make that conversion. So for client A, and for a lot of people that use remarketing, they're all coming out here. And there were too many people leaving at the decision stage. You had loads of people in awareness stage, you had loads of people in interest, but everyone was coming out in decision, and so no one was taking action. And why is that? There are loads of multiple reasons why it could be. It could be that they had too high a delivery cost. Perhaps that's why they had so many abandoned baskets, because let's be honest, who buys a product all the time when you see that there's delivery? Anyone? No, I don't. I certainly don't. It could be that the process of payment was too long. It could be that they thought that the site looked a bit dodgy. The payment portal didn't look professional enough, so they weren't willing to put in their credit card information. They weren't willing to trust that site to generate a sale. But once you sorted out all of those issues, how do we bring those people back? How do we bring them back into the decision process and make them take action, make them convert? With remarketing. So we use a number of different remarketing techniques, but the two that I wanted to talk to you about today are two that are very, very common. And the two that we used for client A was through YouTube and also the Google Display Network. Just a quick show of hands, who knows what the Google Display Network is? Who knows what Google Display Marketing is? Okay, cool. Just very, very briefly, the Google Display Network is, you know when you're on a website and you see an ad for another company, perhaps it's a pair of shoes that you saw? Yeah, that's display marketing. Yeah. And again with YouTube, those really unannoying ads where you're trying to watch your really great cat video and you see a video pop up before that you can skip after 5 seconds. Okay, yeah. So that's what we created. It's called a True View video ad, or a skippable. It does exactly what it says on the tin. We created an ad that encouraged a customer that had already previously been on the site to come back to site and make a decision. And the way we did that was by tracking the number of people that had visited the site but hadn't converted, hadn't taken any action. When they were on YouTube, we would then provide them with that video ad to inspire them to go back onto site, or to at least keep that brand in their mind. The great thing about YouTube is that you only actually pay when you get to 30 seconds. So if the person skips at 5 seconds, essentially you haven't paid and you've still given your ad to someone. They've still got at least 5 seconds of content. So we targeted it to customers who hadn't converted, and it was a great brand awareness exercise to make sure that that brand stayed in the forefront of the mind despite the fact that that person hadn't actually taken any action on the site. And with the Google Display Network, what we did is we created several different graphics in different sizes. I'm going to show you an example of one in a minute. And again, we targeted customers that had been on the site but hadn't taken any action. So while they were viewing other sites, while they were looking around, they could have been looking at any site, to be honest. We would have the ad for the website that they didn't convert on just in the corner, just to remind them, hey, you didn't buy those shoes. Like, come on, like, let's go back and buy them. And also to keep the brand in the forefront of the person's mind. So this is an example of YouTube remarketing, and this is what we did for client A. So in the example here, this is the one that you've probably seen before, whereby you're trying to watch your wonderful cat video and a video pops up that you can skip after 5 seconds. This is what we call a true view in stream or a skippable. You can make them non-skippable, but that comes with a minimum of a 10 grand investment, which is not something that a lot of people, you know, want to spend out on. Also, I tend to find that they are quite annoying. If you get those ads that you can't skip and you have to sit through a good sort of 20 seconds of time, you think, oh, and it actually makes me want to not use that brand in the future. You also have True View in display as well, whereby you can have YouTube videos appear on websites that your customers are looking at, or just in the listings for YouTube as suggested, why don't you see this video next? Here's what's next on your list. And this was all targeted towards people that had been on this website but hadn't converted. Okay, and then we have Google Display Remarketing. So you may be looking, this is what we did for client A. For anyone that had been on the website but hadn't converted, hadn't bought a product or had abandoned the basket, we had loads of different graphics made up in different sizes and placed them on those websites. And the results were really, really successful. So with remarketing, what are the targeting preferences? I mean, let's be honest here, we're in an age where every man and his dog doesn't exist anymore. It is foolish to just market to anyone that you can think or anyone walking down the street when you can target so precisely to your exact customers. I'm not going to read out a whole list, that's Speakers 101. But you can see that the targeting preferences for remarketing are absolutely amazing. The one that I'd like to draw your attention to, one being household income. This isn't in the UK yet. We can target the top 10% of earners, but it's only in certain countries. The reason it's not in the UK at the moment is because we tend to find that UK searchers and search for things that are above their means. We've got a lot of champagne taste and beer pockets, so you can't necessarily tell who's in the top 10% of earners from their searching habits. A really good one that we use for client A is we looked at the product pages that person looked at. So that means that when you come to do your remarketing, you're not just saying go randomly back to this company, you're saying this is the exact product that you looked at, why not look at it again, and making it as relevant as possible for that person. Another one that we looked at was affinity audiences. So does anyone know what an affinity audience is? Awesome. Okay, cool. So this is another great targeting preference. It means basically that instead of just going after age or gender or location, we can actually go after someone's proper interest. So what they do on a day-to-day basis, who they are as a person, what they're looking at, what sort of things they like. So a really great example of an affinity audience on YouTube is green living enthusiasts. So we can say you had an organic soap, or you had an organic company, or a company that was very ecologically sound. You'd go after green living enthusiasts. It's essentially people that are vegan, vegetarian, into clean living, into vegan products, etc., etc. So rather than just going after a certain number of people, you're going after exactly what they like, your exact target audience. So then what we did is we didn't just do blanket messages to everyone with remarketing. You can create specific messages for each category. So we've already said here, you can go after the product or the pages they looked at. It could be, say someone got to the final stage and we know that they've seen the delivery cost and then they left. So we would target that person with a message in their remarketing that says, now free delivery, to encourage that person to go back to site. Okay, I've got a free delivery code now, I'm actually going to buy the product. It could be that the person is from another country and the international delivery was an issue. Again, free international delivery. It could be that they looked at a product page, and we know this through tracking, and the product was out of stock. But that product is now back in stock, so we're going to target that person again with remarketing with a message that says, this product that you wanted is back in stock, go back to the website and buy it. So it's not just about blanket messages. These are really, really specific messages to people based on all of these factors. Frequency capping. The reason I've used Grumpy Cat is because these companies are on my naughty list. Has anyone been targeted with any of these companies? Yeah, which one? Eve mattresses. Oh. I tell you why I'm annoyed with Clear Blue, right? When I was in my late 20s, all I got was Clear Blue. I spend a lot of time on YouTube. We're a YouTube accredited agency. I have to watch a lot of YouTube videos. I got constantly every day, Clear Blue, Clear Blue, Clear Blue. Have a baby, because apparently that's what you have to do at that time. As soon as I turned 30, freeze your eggs. True story, complete true story. It was awful. So the reason I put that there is about frequency capping. Now, we've spoken a bit about the idea of annoyance here and about brands annoying you. And these are just a few people on my naughty list that have not been using their frequency capping well. And it gets to a point where, would you buy an Eve mattress? No, exactly. And it gets to a point where your remarketing actually becomes a hindrance because you are no longer being useful to that person. You are no longer providing them with an ad that is relevant to them. And actually, you're just pissing people off. Then that can be brand damaging. And that can be the reason why, for example, this lady over here will never buy an Eve mattress because of the poor work that that brand has done in trying to get her back onto site. Have you ever been on the Eve mattress website? Yeah, and then they keep on targeting. Yeah, which is just ridiculous. So the reason we use frequency capping is very important. It basically means that we will target a certain person 3 to 5 times with an ad, and then if they don't click through, if they're not interested, if they click at 5 seconds because they're desperate to look at that cat video, then we won't target them anymore. We simply won't give them that message because we don't want to get to a point where we're actually damaging the brand that we're trying to push up. That's really, really important. I did buy Skinny Tan though. They looked so good, and it is brilliant, all by Skinny Tan. And this is me with Skinny Tan, so imagine how pale I was before. Okay, so in the end, with all of this remarketing knowledge and everything that we did on site, we increased client A sales by 100% in 6 months. We reduced their CPA, their cost per acquisition, because people were coming back to site that had been previously targeted and were actually taking action and actually buying product. We increased their conversion rate, not just through the channels that were working, like search marketing and PPC, but actually through social as well. And the beautiful thing as well is we got a huge amount of insights and data. Because in doing remarketing, we were targeting different groups, we were seeing what different affinity audience worked, we were creating lists of people that had visited, how many times they visited, what pages they had viewed. So this great amount of data that really refined who liked what product, what age they were, what location they were, what they were into, and meant that that could then be used in other forms of marketing in the business so they would better know their customers. Q&A. That's it. Cool.